Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Let me fix you guys there. To episode number 147 of the CheckX series. If you're new here, as I say every single day, the CheckX series is pretty much all about me, your host Ivan, talking about everything that Elon discusses on X the day before. Today we're going to discuss what he talked about yesterday on Saturday, May 2nd, 2026. He posted just around 33 times yesterday, and we're pretty much just going to get right into the episode here, not to waste your guys' time or mine. Starting off as we usually do with Tesla, and specifically today, autonomous driving. Starting off this segment, Elon reposted a description of the Tesla office as a modern day computer museum, where vehicles are viewed as mobile computer systems that must navigate complex physical environments. Moving on, Elon also engaged with a story about excuse me. Elon also agreed with a story about a patient discovering full self-driving, or FSD, to alleviate traffic stress, and reposted a Tesla claim that FSD supervised can help reduce driving anxiety. Pretty obvious there. But moving on to SpaceX and Starlink already. A couple short things that we're going to blast through here. But to start off this segment, Elon announced that Starlink is now available in Papua New Guinea. Also, Elon shared a throwback post from 2014 regarding the early development of advanced microsatellites before they were officially named Starlink. Also, Elon noted that Grok's voice is currently being utilized by Starlink. That's well, which is pretty interesting, actually. Ooh, excuse me. So that's pretty interesting, actually. But last but not least, Elon reposted images from the Falcon Heavy's 12th launch, which occurred just recently, and a question regarding his credit for revitalizing the American space program. I mean, I do think giving credit where credit is due, without even, like, really just only talking about how great he is or something like that. Giving credit where credit is due, he has pretty much done so much for the American space program, to be fair. So, yeah. But moving on to XAI and Grok development here. Starting off this segment, Elon promoted the Grok 4.3 model, highlighting its speed, affordability, and number one performance in high detail fields like law and finance. Also, Elon mentioned that the model is available via AI Gateway and Vercel, and he encouraged users to try the Grok Imagine Agent Mode Beta, which allows for creative workflow involving brainstorming, writing, generating AI images and videos on a single canvas. So very interesting there. But moving on here to NeuroLink and thought-controlled robotics. Just a couple things to talk about here. But to start off this segment, Elon stated that thought-controlled robotics is now a reality thanks to NeuroLink, and also Elon shared updates on clinical trial patients, including Alex Connolly, who used his thoughts to control a robotic arm and pilot a drone, and John Noble, who is playing World of Warcraft hands-free using brain signals. I mean, this Neuralink thing is it's pretty crazy. It's also something that you gotta be careful with as well, because if it has this much power, it could also theoretically have this much power to do something bad. I mean, it really just depends on how it's built. I don't know. I mean, it's a very interesting thing. It's a very interesting topic, but I don't know. I'm not necessarily that I just don't trust it, but at the same time, I don't know. But moving on to the OpenAI legal dispute. Starting off this segment, Elon confirmed true to a report from the All In podcast, suggesting he rejected shares in OpenAI because he wanted the entity to remain a charitable organization focused on saving humanity, rather than a for-profit partnered with Microsoft. And last but not least, Elon responded with ... to a video discussing the ongoing trial regarding this dispute. And last but not least, we're talking about social issues and education. Just last 3 things here for the episode, but to start off this segment, Elon reposted views criticizing the idea that racism is the ultimate sin above other major crimes. Also, Elon criticized teachers' unions and public schools, reposting a claim that they act as taxpayer-funded indoctrination camps after several districts canceled classes for May Day protests. Um, that's pretty crazy. But, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least for the episode, Jan described the funding from the American Federation of Teachers to Democrats as money laundering. Interesting one to end off with. But, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, that pretty much wraps up episode number 147 of the CheckX series. If you made it all the way to the end, I appreciate you for watching dearly, and I recommend dropping a like, commenting, and subscribing if you haven't already. I also recommend going back and watching some of the other recent CheckX episodes to get a nice little sequence of events going for you if you would like, based on what Elon's saying, because that's what this CheckX series is about. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this episode, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching.